Let me bring in Republican Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, a member of the Armed Services Committee who's come out against Hagel's nomination. Thank you, sir, for your time. I greatly appreciate it, Mr. Wicker.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Let me first ask you, how do you measure, or what is your opinion of Chuck Hagel's performance so far?
Well, I don't think it's going very well for Senator Hagel. And, you know, there's a real telling part at the very beginning of the hearing where it was mentioned that Senator Kerry, the newly confirmed Secretary of State, came out of his committee on a unanimous basis, confirmed with only 3 dissenting votes in the Senate. I think it's very, very telling that although a number of us disagree with Senator Kerry on a number of issues, we have confidence in him to represent capably the United States view. And frankly, a lot of us have served with Senator Hagel. I think the fact that it's going to be close, that there's hardly any Republican support for him from people who worked with him and were in caucuses with him and on committees with him, I think it speaks volumes about the level of confidence that we don't have about this individual to head really the #1 national security job in the United States.
I want to get to the votes in a second, some of the numbers that are out there, but I want to play your exchange with Chuck Hagel during this hearing today, your questioning of him regarding Israel. Let's play it, please.
Okay.
When you talked about the Jewish lobby, were you talking about AIPAC? Were you talking about NORPAC? Were you talking about Christians United for Israel? And do you still believe that their success in this town is because of intimidation?
I've already said I regret referencing the Jewish lobby. I should have said pro-Israel lobby. I think it's the only time on the record that I've ever said that. Now, you all have done a lot of work with my record, and yes, it's appropriate, by the way.
Senator, is that answer acceptable to you?
Well, he didn't say who he was referring to. We may be able to get to that. Was he talking about AIPAC? Was he talking about the various Christian organizations that deeply support Israel? We didn't get an answer to that. Maybe we'll get an answer later on.
So at this point, are you a no? I know you've said that before.
Yes, I'm absolutely a no, and there's nothing that has gone on today to counter what we all know, that you could not pick a United States senator from the last decade that has had more anti-Israeli comments, that has had more troublesome votes or more troublesome positions or statements against the nation of Israel, this vulnerable democracy in the Middle East, than Chuck Hagel. It's a stunning choice by President Obama from someone who says he's actually very supportive.
But let me ask you, how far are Republicans willing to go here? You've got Senator Thad Cochran, also a Republican of Mississippi, your home state, who's indicated he will vote for confirmation with Hagel. According to the numbers, our first read says it puts it about 56. So the question is, if all of the Democrats support Mr. Hagel, do Republicans really pursue a filibuster against their former colleague? And the answer is what?
Well, the answer is that I would consider that, but it's something that I would have to think long and hard about, and I have not made a judgment about that. So I cannot honestly tell you how I would come down, because the hearing isn't over. The follow-up questions on the record aren't over, but it is a very troublesome nomination for someone like me who really, really supports the right of this little country of Israel to exist in such a hostile environment, as well as all of the problems that Senator Hagel has with regard really to the global leadership of the United States. I just think it's he could not have picked a more troublesome, out of the mainstream nominee, and I'm not alone. The Washington Post in an editorial early this year begged the president not to choose Senator Hagel as being totally out of the mainstream.
Senator Wicker, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.